myself. Wade, how are you,
This evening you'll hear from some very truly remarkable individuals from the Hall of Fame class of 2018. The measured success of this class is truly remarkable. Sitting among you, we have a national champion, team captains, season and career statistical record holders, all conference selections, community leaders, conference champions, a former Harlem Globetrotter, and a T-bone. This class of remarkable individuals will forever be remembered and immortalized in the halls of urban recreation and fitness center with the other 204 members of the Illinois College Athletics Hall of Fame since its inception in 1984. An accomplishment we can thank a member of the Hall of Fame class from 2016, Mr. Jim Downey, for helping organize 34 years ago. I'm so very honored to serve as the Director of Athletics and a member of the Hall of Fame committee. I'm proud of the good work that this committee has done to select this outstanding class of exceptional individuals. At this time, I'd like to introduce the hardworking committee and ask them to please stand and be recognized. Jay Eckhouse. Lori Black. Ethan Green. Jay Green. Alex Kyle. Coach Bill Maris. Megan Roman, Dan Sullivan, Kristen Jameson, Marcia Short, and all the other alumni development staff who all made this event possible this evening. Thank you. The current Hall of Fame members have shown us all how to work hard, be great teammates, leaders, while showing drive and grit. They are role models for our current student athletes and provide a benchmark for greatness at Illinois College. It is for these reasons I'd like to ask those Hall of Fame members who are here with us tonight to please stand and also be recognized. I'd like to offer my congratulations and best wishes to this year's inductees. To all those here tonight to celebrate with their family, friends, and fellow teammates, please enjoy your time. It will truly be a special night. In the spirit of celebrating athletic accomplishments, I would also like to recognize the careers of two prominent Blue Boys, Coach Mike Worrell and Coach Jay Eckhouse. At the conclusion of this year, both coaches will leave IC with a combined 39 years of coaching at Illinois College and over 450 wins, as well as countless student athletes mentoring. These two men will leave a lasting impression on Illinois College athletics for years to come. Please join me in honoring Coach Worrell and Coach Eckhouse. I'm now going to step aside and introduce Tim McGee, our chaplain here at Illinois College, to provide the invocation.
Thank you. I know I'm standing in between y'all and the food, so I will make this a little quick. As I thought about just what I wanted to say so briefly, we live in a world that seems increasingly defined by competition, by struggle and training and separating the winners from the losers. And for some, sports becomes the perfect metaphor for that. But I think the secret and the joy in sports is actually the opposite. So what we talk about, you say you play sports, and there's that word play. And the word sport actually comes from an old French word meaning play. So you're playing at play. And so in a world that seems increasingly tense, with competition, with struggle, where everything is hanging on the line, athletics, playing sports, reminds us that it's not all just about that struggle, that there's a joy that comes, and an enjoyment. And so we're going to honor people who have that hard work, that dedication, but there are also people, I guarantee you, who know that life isn't just about what you can do and what you have done. And that's what the meaning of grace is that gift. And a gift is there to be enjoyed. And so as I say grace for these gifts, I ask that you would just bow your heads with me. Gracious God, we thank you that at the end of the day, it doesn't all depend on what we have done or can do, but that you are good and abundant to us. As we receive these gifts, this food, I ask that you would be with us, that you would be in our conversations, that we would remember that you are certainly there in our hard work, but that you are also equally and sometimes even more there in our joy, in our celebration, in the enjoyment of the goodness and the gifts of this life that we have together. In your name, amen.
Thank you, Tim. That was very appreciated. At this time, the Chartwell staff will begin dismissing tables, and as we conclude the dinner, we will begin the program shortly thereafter.
lot of fun for her, but it was just, it's okay. She's a tough girl. 44-31. Hello, Alex.
Well, no, just trying to figure out if we have
Yes, we are going to be happy. actually is helping with that. Makes sense. So now you're kind of like, this is nothing. I got this.
Bootage.
Camel. Time to go.
Oh, that. You go ahead.
Oh yeah, these are entertainment.
I want all the teens so you're not waiting around. I love that she calls you out. Like, you know, you kind of.
All right, Dave. Sausage ice cream? Yeah. I
Look how pretty.
Up here. Did you bring a haircut? Yeah, I do. How's life? Good. School good? Still got that girlfriend of yours? Yeah. What's her name? I forgot. What's her name? Ellen. Oh, good.
It's right over there, but I would wait this time and get, because I did the other, and this whole line blew up. There was no line
Is my ice cream in there right now?
Yeah, that's what's on camera.
That didn't bring her. Didn't bring her.
Hey, CD. I've got for later.
How are you? Good. Ice cream, that's good.
Do you want more? Here's the birdhouse. Just walk around waving to everybody and stop fighting. So cute. Almost got knocked over by somebody. On the run. We'd have to check it out, right? Oh, well, no, that's
I already had some observations.
now.
Good evening. As you can tell, I'm not President Farley, so there's not going to be a lot of boundless enthusiasm. And I'm also not Bill Maris, so I don't have any great stories to tell you either. The two of them have asked me to stand in for them this evening and to, I would say make this a great ceremony, but it's a great ceremony because we've got great inductees, but to stand in for them and to induct these wonderful athletes into the Illinois College Hall of Fame as the class of 2018. So, without further ado, the first inductee is Adam Barron, class of 2011. If you look in your program, much of the information about the inductees is there, so I'll just touch a couple things. Adam was a four-year starter and a four-time All-Midwest Conference selection. He's the school's all-time leader in hits and total bases, and he batted over 400 in 3 of his 4 seasons and ended with a career batting average of .397. He's from Wayne, Illinois, and now he teaches English as, well, he did teach English as a second language in Japan, and we would like to congratulate him for his induction.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this honor. I should have assumed that I was going to be giving a speech today, but for whatever reason, I convinced myself that I wasn't. So I'll do the best, and I'll keep it short for you all. There's a lot of people after me. The good thing about going first is I guess I can set the bar wherever I want. If that's low, that's all right. If you're going to do better after me. But to make it quick, I would like to first thank the Hall of Fame for selecting me tonight for this honor. It's a huge honor, and I had a great surprise phone call from Jay Eckhouse and actually Matt White, the assistant coach, when I came back from Japan, and was informed that I'd be being inducted tonight. And I can remember always going through Bruner and seeing all those faces on the wall, and always got to see Jay Eckhouse's face for the Hall of Fame and thought, you know, how cool that is, but never thought that I'd actually be up there with them, joining not just them, but also you, everyone here in the room today that's being inducted as well. And to get my thanks out of the way, of course I have to thank my teammates for all 4 years that I was playing. All the 5 a.m. practices really did you know, go a long way. And getting up 9 in the morning for work is much easier now after having done those practices. So that's an unexpected bonus of those, as well as just the, you know, being able to practice and be with those guys. And just like any sport, it's a real team effort. So, you know, there's no way I could be here without any of the players I played with in my 4 years, as well as all the coaching staff. After that, I have to thank my parents as well, not just for watching me play, but of course taking me to practices, making the drive 4 or 5 hours every couple weekends to come down here and watch games, and just always being there to support me through whatever I did. And lastly, I would like to thank Coach Eckhouse. I know it's his final season, which is bittersweet. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity to come play baseball, and not just in college, but for IC, and how much that actually, you know, really changed my life, going beyond sports. And I think it was mentioned before how much it can go beyond just playing a game, playing sports. Because if I didn't come here to play a sport, I would never have gotten into, you know, studying Japanese, which only happened because I failed Spanish. So there was an upside to failing a language. So I took Japanese, and it was because of that that I led, I started getting interested in that, and then after I finished my career, went on to go do that. And none of that would have happened if I didn't come here, talk to Jay with my dad, and visit around the campus and talk to players. And then not only do that, but get a chance to actually play here as a freshman, which was a great honor at that point, and to be able to finish my career playing every year, I have to thank Jay. So thank you. Give Jay a big round of applause. But other than that, I'll leave it at that, and whoever's next, you're welcome. You can do that. You guys can do it. But thank you very much. It's a huge honor.
For those of you who are wondering about the format, in years past we would ask the inductees to find someone from their family, a friend, or a coach to say something about them and then induct them, and that seemed to run a little bit long. And so we decided that the most important thing is for the inductee to actually speak and talk about his or her accomplishments and their time here at IC. So if you were wondering, if you haven't been here for a while and you're wondering why the format was changed, that's the reason. So with that in mind, I'll try to be brief. The next inductee, Dylan Binkley, class of 2011. Dylan was a basketball athlete, played for 4 years, but he was most known for his exploits on the track. He was a 4-time NCAA All-American and 7-time All-Midwest Conference honoree, and in 2010, he was the National Indoor Division III champion in the high jump. He is from Warrensburg, Illinois, and now lives in New Berlin, where he led the high school team in 2016 to the state track and field title. Dylan Binkley.
How's it going? All right, so I'm extremely honored to be up here for this induction. Before I got to IC, I was kind of nervous about doing 2 sports, handling practices and schoolwork, and I really was nervous about this basketball and track kind of. The end of basketball goes into indoor track season, so I was kind of nervous. What will Coach Worrell and Coach Brooks demand of me? Will they get mad sharing an athlete? So I was really nervous coming into IC, and then about 2 weeks before I started as a freshman, walking to the Decatur celebration, and out of the Wands van comes Coach Brooks and Coach Worrell, because they're going together to a Styx tribute band. So once I saw that, I was like, you know what, I don't have anything to worry about. So both those guys, Coach Brooks and Coach Worrell, they're great coaches for me. They never made me feel guilty about spending too much time on another sport, which kind of questions some things. Anyways, doing 2 sports did benefit me. Like I said, basketball season goes into indoor track season, so every year I'd have about 2 track meets to qualify for nationals. And that only leaves me about 3 weeks to practice for nationals. So 2010, when I won nationals, an opposing coach came up to Coach Brooks, and he was like, "How'd you get your high jumper to peak at nationals? That's incredible. It's the best jump all season." And something along the lines, Coach Brooks said, "Well, he just finished basketball. Go ask his basketball coach." So thanks, Coach Worrell, for training me for indoor season and everything that you've done. Next, I want to thank my friends and teammates for always making those long Wisconsin bus trips manageable, especially during the monthly viewing of JFK on the bus. The friends I made here at IC are a huge part of my life. Several of them are here today, and I can't thank you guys enough. Then next, I want to thank my family, Dean and Doris. Thank you for always being at every event. Growing up, I know my family appreciates everything you've done for us. Then my brothers, they're not here tonight. They couldn't make it. But my brothers are several years older than me. But I kind of credit them my competitive nature because they never treated me like a little brother. I wanted to play with them. Then I'm playing with the big boys. And I can remember countless times of getting my shot blocked into the evergreens right next to the driveway. And then finally, I want to thank my parents. I don't think I have enough time to list all the opportunities that you guys have provided me my whole life, and there's probably nothing I can say to repay you guys. But this induction to the Hall of Fame is solely due to your efforts and sacrifices, so thank you.
Our next inductee, and I'm going to say this anyway, goes by the nickname of T-Bone. Terry Ginnard, athletic trainer for Illinois College, has been here for 25 years. During that time, for most of it, 20 years I think, he was the only person in that department. He designed the training room in Bruner Center, and he has helped inspire the next generation of athletic trainers from Illinois College. He is from Milledgeville, Illinois, and now resides in Jacksonville. T-Bone.
I'm going to read mine. I was a little bit nervous. I tried to get up here with shorts on, but it didn't work. I would have been a knockdown there battle. I didn't want to. Excellent introduction, Winston. Special day. I feel really privileged to be here. Really like to thank my brother for nominating me. He's a former Illinois College student athlete himself. Also like to thank my parents here in Dallas for all the support and dedication throughout the years. Lots of good information from them. Without have gotten my start at Illinois College without Bill Anderson believing in a young green athletic trainer and become a head athletic trainer right out of graduate school. It was a lot of stress, but it turned out all right. Also like to thank my current staff, Sarah Phillips, who's been here 6 years, and Sean Woods, who's been here just since August. Great dedication to our student athletes staff here now. Also like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for recognizing my contributions to the department. It's an honor and I'm humbled to be president. It's an honor to go into the hall with such an outstanding group of student athletes that have come throughout the years at Illinois College. I've had the pleasure of taking care of you. Illinois College has been a wonderful place to work. My wife and children have been welcomed into the IC family, just like their own. We have many great people along the way. Sarah, my assistant, has been a very big sister to Grace, Ellie, and Owen. She's even somehow convinced Owen that hockey's the only sport on earth. This institution is a great place for students to get a degree and pursue their passion in athletics as well. I've had the privilege of working with many doctors, including Dr. Green, Dr. Lutz, and the late Dr. Scott. Thanks for the assists. I've learned lots of tricks of the trade from you guys. It's been great. Learned a lot throughout the years. But most importantly, I'd like to thank the coaches, Coach Egg, Coach Worrell, all the coaches and the student athletes that I've taken care of over the last few years, and the coaches that have believed in my journey plans and all the support that they've given me throughout the years. Lastly, I'd like to thank my wife, Jenny, been a strength and support throughout the entire tenure here. Let me cover lots and lots of intercollegiate practices, games, rehabs, travel to Wisconsin, travel to Florida, all these things that are included. Meeting that guy again. It's been an amazing journey so far. I want to thank you for being on my side here during the good times, as well as the bad. All those hours that occurred in the fall. Yeah, but they're good through the summer. Yeah, I'd like to thank the Illinois College Hall of Fame Committee for honoring me with this award. Look forward to many more years of service to the student athletes at Illinois College. Thanks a lot.
The next inductee from the class of 1990, David Eisler. David was a four-year starter and a two-time All-Midwest Conference selection in men's soccer. He currently ranks third all-time in assists, and he was Illinois College's first women's soccer coach, and his team held the single-season program record for nearly 20 years. His hometown is in Springfield, and he is now working in Springfield as a 7th and 8th grade teacher at Douglas Alternative School. Please welcome David Eisler.
First, T-Bone, if I known shorts were an option, we could have got together on that. We made that work. I want to say first, thank you for this significant and awe-inspiring recognition. I'm truly honored and humbled to be inducted into the Illinois College Hall of Fame with this group of outstanding athletes. I first want to thank President Farley for her leadership and active role in continuing the tradition of IC's place as the greatest college. To Athletic Director Mr. Snyder for taking the athletic program facilities to the finest we have ever seen. To the Hall of Fame Committee for the time they put into the selection process and the presentation ceremony. My journey would have not brought me here tonight if it were not for the excellence of my coaches, teammates, family in Illinois College. I had a passion for learning and teaching and a desire to be part of a team, first as a player and later as a coach. These people brought out the best in me. I was surrounded by wise, intelligent, caring people that helped me develop as a person, player, coach, and they also deserve some recognition. For 10 years, Illinois College also did this for me, and I hope my life has reflected those lessons. Coaches had a major impact on me, and my dad was my first soccer coach. When he was handed a soccer ball and was voluntold, he was now in charge. English style was his philosophy. Play it up the wing and boot it in the middle. It still works today. My youth baseball coaches, Mr. Al Link, Mr. Cliff B, and Mr. John Courtney, were the next to influence me. Mr. Courtney taught me the fundamentals and respect for baseball and life. He believed in me so much I never wanted to let him or the team down. My youth soccer coach, Mr. Ron Mays, prepared me to be ready to play in high school. My high school soccer coach, Mr. Jack Casey. Coach Casey had great knowledge of the game and taught it with great patience and expectation. My college coaches, Coach Bonner, Kelker, and Odie. Coach Bonner was working hard to build the program as the first coach and had great passion for the team and myself. Coach Kelker and Odie took over my senior year and gave the team even greater skills and recognition. Coach Kelker then gave me the opportunity to be an assistant coach on the men's soccer team. I wanted to be a coach like these previous people I had mentioned. We were able to win the conference that season and create lasting memories. From there, Coach and Athletic Director Bill Anderson must have seen something in me and offered me the chance to start the women's soccer program here at Illinois College. It was a dream ticket for a young coach, as I was out of IC only 6 months. I had some doubts about myself, but Coach A believed in me, and IC once again had a positive impact on my life. Those early years coaching at IC shaped my coaching philosophy and style, and furthered my love of teaching. Shay McReynolds, Shelley Harvey, Dana Vance, Kelly Harris, Terry Townsley, Melissa Dyson were some of the key players that started the program or built it up from the beginning. They believed and listened to a young coach with a vision of greatness. That 8-8 team was wonderful to coach and was the first great team that others strive to become. Thanks to all the players that made the program strong for me and the school. As a player, it was a blissful situation to learn from extraordinary teammates in high school and college. At Southeast, I learned from some of the greatest players to ever play in Springfield: Brad Cardiff, Danny Donaldson, Greg Handy, Jim Bertram, just to name a few. They taught me the Spartan way to train and compete. And from there, I wanted to see if I could take these skills and lessons and play at the college level. I still remember my overnight visit to IC. It was an eye-opener, but a place I felt was a perfect fit. Little did I know how much Illinois College and some of those people would influence my life. Dave Marker and Sean Emmert are two of those people. Dave was a leader in words and actions and motivated us to do almost anything. He was the straw that stirred the drink. Sean is one of the all-time greats who always made it look like he was playing at another level. He made me believe in myself, my skills, and that I could excel at the college level. Tim Marker and Chris Hall were classmates that helped build that program. Hall of Famer Mike Fletcher is one of the best, if not the best, goalkeepers at IC. Jim Brosh and Mark Adams were teammates and key players that I got to coach on that championship team. These were great players and are phenomenal friends. The games were great, but the practices, road trips, and stories even better. Most of those stories are in the Story Protection Program and need to stay there. Trust me on that. My family has been the foundation of this journey. To my mom and dad, Carolyn and Bill Eisman, who let me pursue my passion while pushing me to be my best. You attended games, carted me to every camp or practice, no matter how far away or the time of day, and tolerated the dents in the siding from backyard and patio games. Thanks for all the motivating encouragement. My sister Amy and brother Kyle. Amy supported me as an athlete and as a coach. She even played briefly here at IC. My brother Kyle, he was kind of my first lesson into coaching, as I was playing basketball, and baseball, and soccer with him. He told our mom that I was his sports hero, and I always learned to play and coach in a way to honor that. To Gene and Rhoda Blumenshine, my father-in-law and mother-in-law, you both have been so positive and encouraging in words or rearranging your schedule to return or pick up my family or to see me coach. Okay, maybe to see your favorite Illinois grandchildren play, but I've heard it both ways. Thank you. To my children, Abby, Seth, and Brady, I have seen you become smart, positive, kind, and caring people. You are wonderful. Abby and Seth, I am thankful for the time I coached you. I realize that sometimes we're not easy, but I want you to know coaching you has been the best part of my coaching life. My youngest, Brady, announced his retirement at age 7. Okay, it was 8, sorry. It's fun to see him at his siblings' games, watching the games sometimes, mostly off playing. He is the other one wearing shorts no matter the weather. I saved the best and most important for last. Joanne, my best friend, an amazing mother, and my wonderful wife. We began this journey while I was coaching at Illinois College. You have been with me every step of the way. Being a coach, and especially a coach's spouse, can be very difficult, but you always rise up and make those times easier. You have shared in every high and low in my coaching life. You have been my rock and honest voice, biggest cheerleader, and best assistant to the coach. I hope you enjoy the ride. I am successful because of you. Thank you for all you have done and continue to do. I love our life together, and I love you. Outside of our family, this is one of the greatest moments of my life. Thank you to my family, friends, and Illinois College. Your positive impact created this journey. It has been a fantastic experience full of wonderful memories. Thank you very much.
Just wanted to point out that David's family is continuing the IC tradition, as his daughter Abby is now an athlete at IC. I've had the pleasure of being around a lot of IC Hall of Famers, many of whom played with me, others I had the pleasure of watching play on other teams. This next inductee was one of those people. Please recognize Joe Lemkuhl, class of 1984. She was a 4-year starter in basketball and softball. She was IC's first 4-year letter winner in softball. In 1984, she won the Doris Hopper Award, and she was also a 3-time IBCA Coach of the Year middle school. Please welcome Joe Lemkuhl, basketball, softball player, to the IC Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Winston. I remember watching him play football, and it was a joy to watch the football and all the athletic teams here at Illinois College. Wow. First of all, I want to say I am truly blown away by this honor. When visiting IC after graduation and going to the Bruner Athletic Center, I always looked at the awards by former and current athletes. And when looking at the Hall of Fame awards, I have to tell you that I secretly wish to be a member of this elite group of men and women. So I want you to know that this is a dream come true for me. Thank you, Hall of Fame Committee, for helping me to fulfill this lifelong dream. I would like to also thank the Illinois College family. You made my years attending Illinois College wonderful, memorable ones that I will never forget. The athletic department was like a second home to me as well. Coach Joe Brooks, Coach Maris, Coach Rowland, they were always there ready to help. I even worked as a secretary to Coach Joe Brooks for a little while during my time at IC. And I'll tell you just a funny little story that's actually an embarrassment for me, but while working as a secretary, I would type football plays for Coach Brooks. On a typewriter, by the way. I was naive about football at the time, and I didn't realize that the I formation was spelled with the letter I, and every time I typed it, I spelled it E-Y-E. I'm sure he got a very big kick out of that, or cussed me a little bit, but he never said a word. I would also like to thank Coach Susan Magruder and Coach Debbie Kilby for their guidance and push during our basketball and softball seasons. Both of them helped our teams to be successful. Many thanks also to my teammates and their talents, many of whom are also Hall of Fame members. Sherry Callahan Bustos, Bonnie Keller McGill, and Elaine Cook. I would also like to thank some other members of my team, Jane Conrad and Sean Lane, to name a few that were very integral in our teams being successful. Without their selflessness, our team and I would not have been successful at all. I also want to thank my nephew, Devin Lemkuhl, who's an Illinois College alumnus of the class of '99, for his nomination and his love. We used to holler, "Man on the floor," when little 4 or 5-year-old Devin would come to visit Ellis Hall. He thought he was big stuff at the time, and my floor mates really got a big kick out of him. Who knew that later he would be attending IC? And I'm sure he visited Ellis Hall, sometimes as well as other girls' dorms, but don't tell his mother. Being the first member of our family to attend college, it was a new and very scary experience. My parents didn't know what to expect, but they knew I wanted to continue to play basketball and softball after high school, and as well as become a teacher and coach after college graduation. I owe all that I am to my parents. God rest their souls. They attended every game that I played, and later every game that I coached. They were my biggest fans and gave me support and guidance along the way. I know they would be very proud of this honor. I want to thank my sister, my best friend, who's always had confidence in me, and she let me often have silly influence over her son. Most of all, I want to thank God for the talent that He gave me and the drive to follow my dream. I am going to be retiring in 43 days, who's counting. And if it weren't for God, my family, and Illinois College, I wouldn't have had the wonderful life that I have had up to this point. I look forward to the next chapter in my life and the pride in visiting IC and seeing my name enshrined with other outstanding members of the athletic community. Again, thank you so much for this honor. It is truly appreciated. Thank you.
Make sure we don't mess this one up. This next inductee is Adam Mefford, class of 1997. Adam was a three-time All-Midwest Conference selection in baseball. He is a career top 10 leader in batting average, RBIs, runs, hits, total bases, and doubles. He was also the football team's Defensive Player of the Year in 1996. His hometown is Virginia, and he is presently the police chief of Jacksonville. Please welcome Adam.
Wow, I'm just so glad that everybody else pulled out a piece of paper too. I was starting to sweat it there a minute ago thinking, man, if I'm the only one that's going to pull out a piece of paper, I got to think of something quick. Thank you all so much, and congratulations to my fellow inductees tonight. First, as Coach Bill Maris would say, let me tell the story. I wish you'd have been here to confirm that I said it right, but he's here in spirit, you know. So in 1994, I walked out onto the practice field my first day of football camp, and I saw what I believed to be about 100 plus players. I was like, man, this is more people than run my whole high school. That was from a small town in Virginia, Illinois. However, I think I worked my way into the starting spot after the second game that year and started every game after there. Now, baseball was another story. After all, I came to college to play baseball. I only played football to keep me focused and out of trouble. Not quite sure how that worked out. I think I spent a fair amount of time avoiding the Jacksonville Police Department. Now I'm their chief. Go figure. One baseball story, however, is like the old storybook tell. You know, the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases loaded, winning run at the plate. I think everybody pretty much gets that idea. So I was in that situation in the conference championship up in Wisconsin one year. And I had worked the count from 0-2 to 3-2. The go-ahead run was me at the plate. We were down by 1 in the top of the last inning. I looked down to the third baseline, and if anybody knows Jamie Isaacson, he had turned his back sideways and grumbled something to the effect of, "Good done!" You give him. That translates to get it done, by the way. The next pitch I hit into the center field trees. We went on to win the conference championship that year. All joking aside, I could tell stories for hours about the great experiences I had at Illinois College. The friendships, the great coaches, teammates, professors, all the people who inspired me. If it had not been for Illinois College, my life would be incomplete. Illinois College brought me to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville gave me my life and the most important things in it. My wife Olivia, our children Maya and Brandon, they inspire me every day. Thank you. Jacksonville not only gave me my career and gave me the honor to stand here tonight to accept this award. I would also like to thank all the teachers, coaches, and players throughout my life who have had an impact on my successes and my failures. Because I have had my share of failures along the way, but we are not defined by our failures, but how we overcome them. I would especially like to thank my parents, Mark Mefford and Chris Yost, for all of the things they've done for me along the way. I know it hasn't been easy, and I'm happy to share this award with you tonight. And my stepdad, Mike, for being here, and all the times he has to put up with my mom telling him stories of my glory days. Lastly, I would sincerely like to thank the Illinois College Hall of Fame Committee for their decision to induct me into the Sports Hall of Fame. This is such an incredible honor and privilege. I will always hold on to this moment with great pride. It's also an honor to be among so many great people that include the great players, coaches, and all of those who have made Illinois College what it is today. It's truly humbling, and I'm proud to be part of this special club. Thank you, and God bless.
I know some people were wondering, and I do think Loyola did win. Sorry. Our next inductee, Jonah Ramsey, class of 1998. As you get older, let me remind you, don't wait until you can't see before you get your glasses changed. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in big trouble. All right, hold on. All right, Conrad's from Springfield, Illinois. He was a 4-year letter winner and 3-year starter for the football team. And he was co-captain and team's leading rusher in 1964. He won the Al Miller Athletic Academic Achievement Award for 3 years. He is the president of Capital City Investment Company in Springfield. Conrad Knoll III. Class of 1965.
Glasses, we need longer arms. I wish to offer my sincere thanks for this high honor to Illinois College, the selection committee, my fellow teammates, coaches, football coaches, the late Joe Brooks, and Bill Maris, who's with us this evening. The Knoll family roots run deeply here on the hilltop. My father, Conrad Knoll Jr., was a class 34. Yours truly, class 65. My oldest daughter, Gail Knoll, class of 94. She received her law degree from the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. May Knoll, class of 96, received her master's degree from the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. Conrad Knoll IV, class of 97, received his law degree from the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. Gray Knoll, class of 99, received his law degree from Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. Bobby Knoll, class of 02, received his master's degree from Greenville College. Additionally, a niece, Susan Knoll Shaver, class of 84, received her PhD from George Mason University. Nephew, Daniel Knoll, class of 06, received his law degree from Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. It was a distant winter day in 1961 that a Springfield High School senior received a letter from the University of Illinois head football coach Ray Elliott requesting a visit to gauge my interest in playing for the Fighting Illini. Following a discussion with my father, a date was set, and soon we were off to Champaign. Upon arrival, we toured the athletic facilities, and Coach Elliott excused my father. Coach Elliott had the floor. He said, "Young man, when I was your age, I wanted to play Big Ten football. I didn't want to play for Michigan. They were the Wolverines. I didn't want to play for Wisconsin. They were the Badgers. I didn't want to play for Minnesota. They were the Gophers. They were all animals. Here in Illinois, we're the Fighting Illini. I said, yes, Coach, that's right. On the way home, Dad asked for my thoughts. I said, Dad, I'm going to enroll where I'm able to play. I'm going to Illinois College. Following discharge from the Army, I married Judy Cormany, and we settled in my hometown of Springfield, Illinois, and raised 5 fine children. Years passed, and soon the youngsters were old enough to schedule an Illinois College homecoming event. Ray Elliott's grandson had a table set up here in Kane Student Center and was selling his grandfather's biography, Ray Elliott, Mr. Illini. I purchased a copy, and later that evening started the reading. 1/3 into the narrative, Coach Elliott was addressing a young Chicago prospect, Dick Butkus. Said Coach Elliott, when I was your age, Dick, I wanted to play Big Ten football. I didn't want to play for Michigan, they were the Wolverines. I didn't want to play for Wisconsin, they were the Badgers. I didn't want to play for Minnesota, they were the Gophers. They're all animals. Here we're the Fighting Illini. In the fall of 1961, I enrolled at Illinois College. I received a fine education, lettered 4 years in varsity football, and made many valued and enduring friendships. In conclusion, Illinois College may not be the right college choice for everyone, but it certainly fulfilled its mission in offering the Knoll family untold opportunities and successes for which we will be forever grateful. Indeed, I'm proud to be at Illinois College Blue Boy.
Okay. Now, introduce inductee Jonah Ramsey, class of 1998. She was a 4-year starter and 1996 MWC Player of the Year. She was the 1996 Doris Hopper Award winner. She played on 3 Midwest Conference title-winning teams. She is second in assists and fourth in aces in school history. Again, please welcome an inductee, Joanna Ramsey, class of 1998.
I'm so excited to be here. One, I was here in 2012 when they inducted our team. We made the NCAA tournament, and I'm so excited because I just get to see such friendly faces and people that I literally grew up with. So I'm happy to be back and to see all my friends, essentially, and my family. So they told me I had an hour and a half, so it won't be long, folks. As is mentioned in my little, whatever you want to call that, brochure. Thank you, sister. When I was here, we really had some good success. And so just for giggles, I looked it up, and in the 4 years, we won 108 matches and 22 losses. 3 conference titles and 1 NCAA bid, which was a school's history at that time. And we went undefeated in the South Division for 4 years. So to say that we kicked some butt was an understatement. So how do you approach the Hall of Fame? I was just thinking about it. Of course, my mom told me just to wing it. I'm like, okay, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But how do you approach that? And I think that the speech, this is just like practice. We practiced hard. And the Hall of Fame induction is the game part. So while I attended IC as a student athlete, we practiced a lot. And with practice comes teammates, supporters, coaches, and family. I am a townie. You guys know what that means, from Jacksonville, and I went to Illinois College. I didn't want to come here, but when I was 12, 13, 14, my dad said, that's where you're going. That's a good school. You're going to go there. And as an annoyed teenager, I go, ugh, no. So, when a few years later, when I was 15, my dad passed away unexpectedly from a heart attack. He was definitely a supporter, though, and I could count on him. He took me to practices. He took me to camps. Heck, folks, he even built my first court, which was a grass court that I had to cut, and it was in the horse pasture. Not many of you grew up playing volleyball, probably in that. Yes, it was nice. Although I had to always trim the court with a push mower, but he got to ride the rest of the yard. I didn't quite figure that out, but that's okay. And my other supporter at that time was my mom. She kept me in the game after my dad passed away, and she knew that both of us needed the game. Shortly after that, when I was in high school, Coach Kelly began recruiting Jacksonville players. She was just always around. And I really enjoyed her banter and her support. But when she asked, will you come to IC? And I said, no, of course, I just didn't want to. She talked to my mom for hours. I think she recruited my mom more than she did me. One day my mom said, hey, where are we going to college? And I said, I don't know. She goes, you know, Brenda's a good coach and she has a good team. And being from Jacksonville, we were very successful in volleyball. So I had to go somewhere where we were going to win. So I said, fine, we'll go to IC, Mom. And I'm so glad that we did. And when I say we, I'll get to that part later. I walked into Memorial Gymnasium as a freshman, and I noticed immediately when I walked in to the left at that point were the Hall of Fame plaques. And I said, hey, one day I want to be on one of those. As a freshman, I quickly learned, especially from my club coach, Dr. Jim Green, that I was not prepared for college. I didn't know what circuits were, practices, long, drills. We weren't prepared for that. Isn't that right, Doc? Yes. Should always listen. Okay. Juniors and seniors kicked my butt in practice. They yelled at me when I needed it. And that year we made it to the first NCAA bid in the school's history. So when we got there, and I just have to tell you a quick story about that. We worked hard, and we didn't have the automatic qualifier at that time, and that meant that you had to beat teams to get to the NCAA tournament for people to recognize that. We beat Division II teams, Quincy University, we beat nationally ranked teams that year, and Coach Kelly went up to see if we would get the invite, and we waited all day. We waited in the gym, Bill Maris was there, Tom Rowland was there, we kept waiting for her to make the call to see if we got in. We were going to be so excited. We're like, we're flying somewhere, no more fans. So excited. No. She came back and she goes, yeah, you got the bid. We're like, oh my gosh, we're so excited. Where are we flying? She said, we're not. Okay. She goes, but you're going to get a charter. Yes, even better. So, and we said, okay, where are we going? And she goes, well, you know, where are we going? St. Louis. Coach, we were just there last weekend. She said, I know. And then finally, when we settled down a little bit, we said, who'll be playing? She said, well, two-time the national defending champions, Washington University. All right. Even better. So we show up there, and it's really scripted, and it's really neat, because when you make the national tournament, it's just really exciting. I've been there as a player, I've been there as a coach, and I've been there as administrators and as a faculty athletic rep. So we get there, and it's real scripted. We can't do the things that we normally do in Memorial Gymnasium. We can't just bounce the ball and practice and warm up. It's all scripted. You can't get on the floor. You can't do certain things. So we get there, and all of a sudden I hear, are you kidding me, in the locker room? And I went, what's going on? And it was from an upperclassman. I think it was Beck Thorne. And I said, oh, what's going on? And then I hear, is Coach in here? No, go get Jonah. Oh God, I'm just a freshman, leave me alone. So I'm trying to get ready for the national tournament, and our middle hitter, who was also a freshman, Heather Winters, bless her, had forgot her game shoes. We were in the biggest event that we have ever had in school's history. We had literally, we were playing in front of 4,000 people. And the town of Jacksonville, IC had supported us, our president, everyone here was just really supportive, and instead of a bunch of people, and Heather Winters forgot her game shoes. But that's okay, because I brought an extra pair. So, NCAA tournament was really exciting that freshman year. Other things that I learned while I was here, I have good and great friends that came out of this. Carrie Cram, she's one of my besties. We did everything together. I had good teammates such as Jessica Tobin, Becca Thorne, Don White, Heather Kirby, Carrie Jo Henry, Lori Martin, who by the way was the only one that could boss me around on the court. Mandy Stewart, Jenny C. Rain, Alicia Brown, who's here today, and Diane Walker. I also had great friends that were in other sports, from soccer to basketball. Some of those players were Jody Davis. She taught me how to shoot basketball. Folks, until I came to IC, I didn't even know how to shoot basketball. I was a volleyball player all the way. Kim Dunham, who's here today, she taught me how to carve a pumpkin. Didn't know how to do that. She's real artsy. Not me. She still picks on me when it comes to carving those pumpkins. Eric Rogie, I'm not really allowed to tell you how much fun we had there. Dina Whaley, she taught me about soccer, and then of course Lynn Culver's taught me about upside down margaritas, but that really has nothing to do with, okay, tough crowd today. I learned such things as hard work in the weight room. I didn't really know what I was doing in the weight room, to say the least. Some of you may remember a man named Meat. You guys remember him? Old Andy Sparrow, rest his soul. He taught me how to lift, which I was excited because when I was a freshman I had no idea. And in between my freshman and sophomore year, Coach challenged me and said, "You're not going to be able to do that." Well, when you got a 8 guy standing over you saying, "Push that leg press," you do. I learned the word tunage. Anyone ever hear that word in here? That's still in my vocabulary. I learned time management because I used to be really shy, if you can believe that. And I learned that everything would be okay. If we were anywhere around the gymnasium, the football field, the baseball field, everything was always okay because we were just with our people. You just went to the gym for volleyball, you went there for racquetball. Didn't even know that we had racquetball courts. It is really a bunker down there, I think, fallout shelter. The smell of the gross football pads in the locker room. The pool, no one knew we had one, but we did. It was really the weight loss room for our wrestlers. And the ice machine, the dreaded ice machine. Those of you who are athletes here know about that ice machine. It's the only damn thing T-Bone couldn't fix. It's the ice machine. Okay? He could fix everything else, but not that ice machine. Sometimes you'd have ice, sometimes you wouldn't. So everything was good at the gym. It wasn't fancy, it didn't sparkle, but we won a lot in there, and I really enjoyed being here. Most of my successes came from my teammates, my coaches, and of course from Coach Kelly. She pushed me and gave me the reins and the opportunity to become a good player and a good leader. She's helped me in so many ways, I can't thank her enough. Last but not least, my family, both my sisters. My other sister Gina is a little bit older. It was a big oops that came along. She lives in Arizona, but my other sister Selena is here today, and her and I were a little closer together, and she was always annoyed by me. I was the little sister, right, that said, hey, hit the ball at me. Come on, sis. I was little, and my mom would get so mad because I'd come back with red arms. Yeah, and of course in typical sister fashion, what'd she say? Oh, Mom, she wanted me to do it. It's fine. Okay? My sister would fill my apartment with food during season. Just say I was a little spoiled, would just say a little bit about that. She came to so many games, so I love you, sis, and of course my other sister in Arizona was very supportive as well. But to my mom, I'm so glad that you chose IC. Thank you. You grew as much as I did. You worked overtime, you attended all my games, you learned how to read a map. Well, kind of. Okay? Don't really go on a road trip with her. Okay? Maybe not so good. Other people would always kind of take my mom in and take her with her. I was always so worried about her traveling by herself. But you love that I was an English minor because you got to read all my lit books. It's It's fantastic. Okay. I love that you did my laundry. Again, did I say I was spoiled? Yeah, only during season. And you vacationed in such glorious places in 4 years. You know, Galesburg, Illinois, Whitewater, Wisconsin. Thanks for saving all those vacation days to go on those volleyball trips. And she was very good at, here's my show and tell. Folks, these are called photo albums, for those of you who don't know, and there's not one dang photo in here. Okay, my mom's the best archivist ever. Icy would plant a tree, she'd cut out paper, put it in here. She put in all of our things, press releases, whatever. And here's the best part. It had nothing to do with volleyball. Well, some of them did. T-Bone, you're in here. Mark Clayton and Brian Henry have their injuries attended to. There he is, he's famous, right? Yeah, I mean, I have tons of these, and there's not one. She put napkins, she caught all the little pom-pom that we had and put it in a photo album. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate all that, Mom, and truly this Hall of Fame award is for you. You are the Hall of Famer, and I thank you and love you for it, so thank you. This place is home to me. In my athletic career, home to my lifelong friends. While the suites are gone, my old apartment's gone, and while Memorial Gymnasium will be gone soon, I remember, what I remember the most are all the people, from President Fowle to our faculty athletic rep, Professor Mann, to Bill Maris, to Jim Green. All my coaches and teammates, you should be on this plaque, not just me. And I leave you with a poem that reminds me of my time here, and I think is very fitting because I feel like this is family and home. It's titled Old Friends. New friends, I cherish and treasure their worth, but old friends to me are the salt of the earth. Friends are like garments that everyone wears. New ones are needed for dress-up affairs. But when we're at our leisure and we're most apt to choose the clothes that we purchased with last season's shoes. Things we grow used to are things we love best, the ones we are certain that have weathered the test. And isn't it true, since we're talking of friends, that new ones bring pleasure when everything blends? But when we want someone who thinks as we do, and who fits, as I mentioned, like last summer's shoes, we turn to friends who have struck through the years, who echo our laughter, dry our tears. They know every weakness and fault we possess, but somehow forget them in friendship's caress. Thank you.
Our last inductee of the evening, Jacob Tucker, the third member from the class of 2011. His hometown is Carlisle, Illinois, and he now lives in O'Fallon, Illinois, where he works for an athletic performance training organization. He is a 1,000-point scorer in basketball. He is a two-time All-Midwest Conference selection. He is a former member of the Harlem Globetrotters, and he was the 2011 All-Level NCAA Slam Dunk Champion. Jacob Tucker.
Well, it's crazy to be up here for me, and what's crazy is what so much of my life revolves around now is athletics and basketball through a large part of my life and career. But what most of you don't know is I actually quit playing basketball twice in my life. I wasn't going to play basketball in high school. It wasn't until the coach was very persistent in wanting me to try out for the team because I was not going to. And that persistency actually called my parents, and they got me to reconsider. that. And I was fortunate through that my senior year in high school to play in the state tournament. But that was kind of the first time period for me that someone outside of my family saw something in me that I did not yet see in myself. The second time that I actually quit, this is not the first college that I went to. I went to a different college first, and it was very obvious to me at that point in time that I was not going to be, they didn't really see me in their future as a player there. And so the day before our first game, I actually quit, so I didn't waste a year of eligibility. And I spent the rest of the year there. I knew that I was going to transfer here, but I actually didn't know whether I was going to play in that time period before I came here. And a big part of that was because during that time period of through high school, that became a big part of my identity was an athlete and success. And when I didn't have that that first school that I went to, I spent a year away from that. And I was a little bit, I would say, lost in that time period. And I wasn't sure whether I wanted to play basketball again or not. And it was literally weeks before I arrived on campus here. The Lord spoke to me and said two things. He said, first, I need you to get your faith in order. And second, I want you to play. And it was from that moment that, it was just literally weeks before I came here, I decided that I was going to be all in as a man of God, I was going to be all in as a student, and I was going to be all in as a basketball player. And so coming to IC, some of my favorite moments here would be with my friends sitting over here at this table, would be over the summers when I look back. So we would actually stay here over the summers and literally had nothing to do all day. So me and Craig would go to the weight room, and then we'd do our basketball skill workouts. And then at night, during that time period, for those of you that follow NBA basketball, NBA playoffs are on like all summer, it seems like, every single night. And so me and those group of guys over there, we would watch NBA games literally every night up in the Lincoln Lounge. We'd order food, make food. That was some of the, looking back, some of the most fun time periods that I had here as a student, was in those summers. We didn't have a whole lot going on. As a player, some of my favorite, or my favorite memory, and something that I'm very proud of, was my senior year having our team having the best record in Midwest Conference history for men's basketball here. And we had to get through a lot to get to that point. We had to overcome some things and wound up having the #2 seed in the conference tournament. And that's something, looking back, that I'm extremely proud of, that we were able to get overcome some of that adversity to get to that point. And then the dunking craziness that all of you somewhat know about. So the YouTube video and why I even wanted to be in the contest, it was a dream of mine ever since I got to college to be in that contest. I thought I would have a chance if I was able to ever actually get in it. So my senior year, after the season was over, I put together a YouTube video just to send it to the company that was choosing the dunkers for the contest, and that's all I was even doing it for. And so it was a Thursday night. We're all sitting in my dorm room, a whole bunch of us, and we posted it late at night, 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's not late for college students, but it is for me now. 9:30, 10 o'clock. And all of a sudden, they just decided to start sharing it everywhere. And everybody wants to know how some social media mastermind, you can ask them. I didn't really have much of a part of it besides posting it. But the YouTube video, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a background about this, because not many of you know much of the background and behind the scenes of it. So it was posted late Thursday night. By Friday afternoon, so we're talking about noon, the Springfield news stations had called to do an interview. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. And that Friday was spring break started. So the end of class is on Friday, everybody leaves. So I was like, all right, well, let's do this real quick because I'm about to go home for spring break, have a little time away. And by that night, into early next morning, some national stages took the video, wrote some stories about it. And the next morning, Saturday morning, I get a call from my friend the Geese. We call him the Geese, the beautiful view over there. He calls me, it's decently early in the morning. He had just got off a 48-hour shift at Lifestar as an EMT. And he calls me and he says, Tuck, what in the world is going on? Like, I just see your name everywhere. Like, what is going on? He had no idea. And I said, Geese, I'm at my parents' house. I'm laying underneath the blankets, hiding from the rest of the world. And he just started dying laughing because he saw, yeah, I'm sure you can picture that. As a shy kid and an introvert, and it was at that moment that I started seeing what was happening. And I wasn't quite sure how I was going to handle it. That's something you get just straight pushed into the fire, and it's not something that you can be prepared for. And I just remember in that moment, that was when I realized where it was going and trying to figure out how I was going to go about handling that. Later that night, somehow the Ellen DeGeneres show got my parents' home phone number and left a message about wanting me to appear on their show. And I was just, that was one of those moments I was like, I guess there's no going back at this point. By Monday morning was when some of the ESPN talk shows had grabbed the video, done some stories on it. They had me on for interviews. Within a couple days, I think I was on CNN and a ton of other stuff. And that time period, looking back, is a big blur for me. It's a big blur. But what that led to was some unbelievable life experiences for me. I had the opportunity to play for the Globetrotters, to travel the world. I got to meet President Obama and beat him in a free throw contest. Those of you that saw me shoot free throws my senior year, I don't know what you're more surprised about than I met the president for this line of free throw contest. I'll say the joke first. So, in closing, I want to congratulate all the other inductees on this honor tonight. I want to thank Coach Worrell for nominating me. I want to thank IC for the induction and thinking enough of me to put me in the Sports Hall of Fame. I want to thank my family, coaches, mentors, and friends. Anytime there's any kind of success in somebody's life, everyone in this room has had success. There's a few of us that are just happened to be honored tonight, but the reality is what you see is surface level when it comes to success. You don't see everybody behind the scenes that had their hand in it for a long time. So for me, that was my parents and my family at a young age instilling strong faith inside of me and really believing in me. And my coaches and mentors along the way. I had coaches that believed in me. I had coaches that didn't, and the coaches that didn't gave me a chip on my shoulder. But Coach Worrell gave me an opportunity to play here when somebody else didn't. And that always meant a lot to me. He saw something in me for that. And my friends, that in college it's tough to, when you want to grow in your faith, that's a time period you're trying to figure out who you are as a person. And I was very fortunate in college to have the friends that I had that are still my friends today, that I was able to grow with in faith, continue to grow with to this day in faith. And I've been very thankful for all those people throughout my life that allowed me to get to this point. I'm the accumulation of those people. I'm the accumulation of my family. I'm the accumulation of my coaches, mentors, my friends, and I wouldn't be up here without them. So I want to thank all of you for coming tonight, and thank you for this honor.
give me 7.5 minutes, I think I can get us out of here. It's an inside joke for some. There are a couple of takeaways that I hope you leave tonight with. First of all, please celebrate with the inductees tonight because they've done some extraordinary things and they deserve all the accolades that they have received this evening. Second, go back to what the chaplain said at the beginning about play. One of the things that you should have picked up from all the recipients tonight is that they all enjoy their time in athletics. They all had fun playing whatever sport that they were involved in. Another takeaway is that it didn't stop with the athletic achievement. It didn't stop with the court or the field at Illinois College. They left Illinois College with a foundation and a base that allowed them to be successful in life. And as you look at this room, there are many more who have come to appreciate the accomplishments of those inducted tonight, and they have done exceptional things in their lives as well. So if you don't take anything else away from tonight, think about Illinois College and what it has done for myself and for the ones who are up here tonight and for the others in the audience who have attended in the past or who are attending now, and understand what it is about our school that we love so much. Sitting at a table with some gentlemen that I did not go to school with, but have known them for years and have created such great relationships with them. Coach Eckhouse, did not go to school with him, met him when I was a freshman through some players who played with him and were still here to play with me, have known him all those years, great individual, great person. Coach Worrell, did not know him, introduced to him by someone. When he would come to St. Louis to scout athletes, he'd call me. I'd go to the games with him sometimes. Great relationship, great camaraderie. Illinois College is that type of place where people who have gone to school in the 50s, people who have gone to school in the new millennium can still find that common bound because things here connect from one generation to the next generation, and everybody enjoys their time here knowing that this is not their final destination, but for many, just as Jacob said, it is that place where you can begin to find out who you are and put yourself on a path to the greatness that you're going to find later in your life. So as you leave tonight, we want to thank you all for coming and enjoying this celebration for those athletes, but we also want to thank you for coming to get a glimpse of our wonderful college and the relationships and the people that make this college what it is. Thank you.